So I'm here with Fahreen Alamgir, who is an academic at Monash, and Habib Urahman, who is part of the Australian Burmese Rohingya organization, and their paper entitled "The Political Economy of Slow Genocide, Racial Capitalism, and the Making of De Facto Stateless Rohingya" has been recognized by the Critical Management Studies Division of the Academy of Management. On the basis of reviewer evaluations and in conjunction with the editors of the Journal of Business Ethics, we're delighted that Habib and Fahreen's work has been awarded the best paper for critical business ethics. Congratulations, both of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard.
I wonder, can you tell me a little bit about the paper, Habib?
Yeah, this is the report about what happened in the past and then what is going on, current situation. So the government around the world or international community, they march based on what the paper has been recorded, you know. So I think that's why this is very important. So we try to record as much as we can putting into this paper, so they understand the real situation on the ground. Because you see, even genocide was taken place, for example, many countries did not come to recognize that is genocide. And then even UN has quoted, this is like the textbook example of genocide. And then still country like superpower country like US, they not recognize, but later on they come to recognize that is genocide. So that's why country, still Australia, they still not call it that is genocide. And some country, they still neglect to put sanction or taking counter action. So that's why this paper outlined the situation that then many of leaders, they have opportunity of, or academic, they're meeting each other, so that when this come to publish in international level, they cannot ignore anymore. So they will feel they are loss of their responsibility, something like that. So that's why I think this is very important.
Thank you for sure. Fahreen, it's a really interesting collaboration between you as an academic and with an external partner. Can you tell us a bit about how that fits within our community?
Yes, thanks, Richard. It's like in 2017 when 900,000 Rohingyas had to cross the border, and Bangladesh had to give them, shelter. Here in Australia, me and Habib, we thought we should do something, because being a Bangladeshi, I have experienced that because the Rohingyas first moved to Bangladesh in 1978. So now being located in Australia and Habib's own lived experience back in, because he left Myanmar in 1999. Yeah. But that experience and what we say in our papers, that is our concerns, our vulnerabilities being located in other space, that has brought us together to come out with this paper, that we need to tell this story to the global community, firstly to the academic community, and then to other spheres. What is slow genocide and what is the experience of slow genocide? That is one thing we shared. And the second thing, when we started our collaboration by 2021, there has been a change in the political regime in Myanmar. So the so-called, the transitional democratic country again has become an militarized state. Yeah. And that is very important for us to communicate to again to the global community and the global academic community, that how the political liberal values, the state mechanisms, and the equality issues, the citizenship rights, are not something that the way we conceive or perceive it in the context of the West or the North. So the translations of those notions of political values in the context of South Asia or in a global South context, it is always in flux. So we need to think about that how it is translated at the local level. And it is important for the business to understand these mechanisms. First of all, for the business. Secondly, for the organization. Organization, in a sense, organizing of life in camps. And the camps as a space is unaccountable. I mean, the way liberal political values and liberal knowledge regime defines accountability, camp is not a space, remains accountable to the institution like the state, or to the people, or to the community. So there is a constitution of unaccountable space and organizing of life by the community, like NGOs.
Yeah.
Or we often say as a human rights industry. So that is something we wanted to, represent in our paper. And as Habib says, if it gets published, then we will feel that yes, we have done something, and that is about what we felt we are responsible and accountable to do.
Thank you. The experience of reading your paper brought about such. You conveyed the pain and the so powerfully, and there's a lot of bravery involved in you bringing this story into the public space and to making it more widely known, and to advancing that this knowledge. Can you tell me what you would like people to find in the paper for themselves? Any key learnings, or what you hope that the reader can do with your brave telling of this?
Yeah, because whatever the attacks going on there, so there is a project behind the attack, and then even after attack, there is very well organized planning of what the government want to do with Rohingya. So when these all are the link, I mean, like the social costs and economic costs and also political costs. So this been clearly verified in the paper, so that this will distribute across the world. And many, even the leaders who ruling the country, they're meeting with academic, and we have a university around the world. So this will come to present as a subject of a matter of fact from the ground, so that this tool, so no one can silence, or no one can like ignore or close eye. So they will come to know more, and is it real or what's going on, and in case, maybe this can also use for the other international judicial proceeding as well, as a part of proof. So I think that's why very important, and more this will make a global concern, and the people are still in the camp, and situation is still the same. And then the fact of organized plan is still exists, so that no one or nothing can be deniable in there.
Thank you.
Just to add what Habib says, that the institutional mechanisms, it is often very difficult. The things we really faced as a challenge, that institutional data, it is difficult to get an institutional data from a militarized states, that how they have organizing, or how they have been organizing or have organized over the years this kind of atrocities. But one thing is very clear, that is the issue of identity. Taking away identity from the people, looking for something authentic Burmese. It's not the problem with the Myanmar government. This has become an issue, that the functioning of majority and minority factions, what we call in our academic term, political society. So there are majority factions, a part of the political society within and in mechanisms with the state. And there are minority communities are here. And as a part of the political society, at one fine morning, they found out that their identity has been taken away as a citizen, or even as a minority ethnic community of Myanmar. Again, then identity matters, and we often talk. And as Habib told me, that when it was the identity that he got from the Australian government as a refugee from Myanmar.
Yeah.
That really made something as something. Habib and other Rohingyas, they considered that they have achieved as something Myanmar, not as an internally displaced people. So we see here the layers after layers, how it works, and why it, as he mentions that even this if this paper gets published, even the international judiciary systems where indeed Myanmar and Rohingyas genocide is now has been discussed as a case.
We have prosecution in ICJ, ICC, and also in Argentina. Yeah, so this will be useful.
This will be useful. So it's not about the academic community or CMS. In the CMS, over the years, we have discussed about academic and academic activisms, academic activist approach. Even journal-like organization has put acting up as a way to express what our concerns. That's something we wanted to do in here, that how activist and academic collaboration should work to bring in the experience of others for whom it is quite difficult to represent their stories. And we just have been trying to do this because we see there is there has been a approach of empowering epistemology and methodology in our CMS domain. And there has been a sort of trend of autoethnography and others, but we need to think that we are privileged. I mean, we need to do more self-reflexive analysis, not in relations to identity positionality, to ground my research. Even there are differences in between me and Habib. I'm a majority in Bangladesh. I came from a privileged group from Bangladesh, because I'm Bengali by ethnicity, but it is in here in Australia, this is something, our concerns, our ethic, our relational, the way we relate with each other, the relational approach, that it is from there, and we need to talk about this. So our approach of looking at the issue and represent that issue in our paper is basically draws from this relationality. And thus we constituted our situated solidarity. And we consider this is highly important, not only in terms of writing a paper or and doing research. This should be the approach to address any issues where human rights is annihilated and is a concern.
Thank you. That's so powerful, and I think so important for people to hear. Respect to you both for your approach and for your activism, which is articulated in such a powerful way in your paper. I'm interested. I find it very hard to follow what you've been talking about with glib questions celebrating your work. But I would like to know what else you might like, what else you are hoping to do with this work. Clearly you are on a journey towards publication of it, and to making this story wider known, and establishing a set of perspectives and understandings grounded in your experiences of this. I wonder what else are you hoping to achieve with this?
Yeah, like Rohingya are not the mechanism body, so the international community and United Nations, they have power to do so. So that this they've been helping to solve the issue about Myanmar for a long time. So look like they've not been really work on the ground, or very less. So this report will suggest, then finding what else issues involved in this Rohingya issue. So I think they will find out, so they can add more action to solve this issue, so that, and government around the world will not ignore anymore, because academic already come to involve. Institution has recognized this as a case, so they cannot say anymore this is not going to happen, And then in any way they need material evidence, something like this already been in the academic paper. so that I think the attention will be drawn. But it is up to their hand, their decision, and it is up to them. But they already will find out through this paper what other issues are involved. So I think soon we will get some kind of approach.
And we often talk about the role of the university. Would you like to focus on it? That you told me once that the scholarship and others are usually provided to the privileged group. Can you?
Yeah, for example, there are like the Bosnia case and other case. There has been a lot of case failure in the world, you know. And all the student or academy, they should not stay like always learner, you know. They can come forward with the paper. Look, we cannot be student of always the history, you know. They have to say, look, we cannot let this happen and worse and worse situation, and we just stand by. No more, no way. Because academic has the best chances of meeting with global leaders, and they have meeting with also government around the world, United Nations. So everyone is there looking after report from institutions. So I think institution can be in both, in bringing the issue, or in advising, or bringing to highlight this issue more and more in international level. So that like it is different, you know, when Rohingya people represent, they will say these are groundless report, or no one know, or because there is a restricted zone. But academic has already picked up and then already published in institutions, so they cannot deny anymore. So that there is chances that they can, and all global leaders, they come from university as well, you know, and then they have linked, some of their teachers are still working in university, so they have to come to pay attention. So I think academy has more closer relation with the global leaders and international community, so that we want to see more, you know, like more highlighting the issue through academic.
What I would like to add here, Richard, that from Habib's perspective, it is more around the advocacy the paper could do. And CMS, this award, indeed help us in relations to this advocacy. You are recording our interviews, and we hope that our other CMS friends, comrades, 799 members of the CMS division in the Academy of Management, they are going to listen to this story. So Habib thinks more is always about the advocacy. And when we discussed, this is not the single case. This Rohingyas issue is not the single case right at this moment, because in India there is a process of non-resident, that NRC, CA, that citizenships and gradation of citizenship status. So this is one thing, and that gives us an understanding for the business as a scholar of business studies, that we need to understand how this capitalism has been working in the regional context. Is it a racial capitalism or communal capitalism? Because when there is a violence and there is investment of a specific group of company like Adani in Arakan state or Rakhine state of Myanmar, in the case of here in Australia, in Queensland, that brings in something is problematic here. That we wanted to do more work on this in future. That is organized. I mean, we have touched racial capitalism here, but we intend to do more work in future on the issue of regional capitalism and how it has been working. Aside from that, we have also we have some discussions that we wanted to work on tertiary educations, because the doors of tertiary educations, like initially our discussion started from USA, that all those scholarships when go to these South Asian countries or developing countries, it indeed goes to the privileged class. So we see at the end, the children of the army general, what Habib experienced, they usually come to this, come Australia, and they discuss about democracy and something, and then they go back. But what indeed they're going to do there? Because they are the privileged category, they are the ruling class elites, they learned about democracy, but the approach of the democratic approach is absence is still there. in this sense, this paper is also a recognition of a community, the community which has been looking for their recognition and representations and inclusion into this process of discussions, governance in every spheres of social dynamics.
Thank you. I'm really struck by what you say about advocacy and about activism and about, you know, us in the academy mobilizing our privilege with responsibility and with a full grasp of events around the world. We have a session in Seattle where we will talk about how we respond as a community and sort of being critical of violence.
That is the reason I'm always thankful to CMS, because I, as a critical management scholar, CMS divisions of the Academy of Management is a space where I always see myself when I was a PhD student and now as an ECR. So yes.
Me too. And I'm really grateful for your scholarship and for your activism and your advocacy and for sharing it here. I'm delighted that we can recognize your work in this way. I hope many people watch this interview, read your paper and are inspired by it to bring a little of the bravery and into their own work. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, Richard. And thanks for the word.